CFB Prime, Nino Brown. We're talking Magnificent Seven, Exodus. Where will they go? Who wants to stay? Hugh Freeze got Auburn believing. AD John Cohen feeling himself like he lost his keys about to hire. Duke? Who? What? Mike Elko and Riley Leonard have changed the landscape for the Duke Blue Devils. How and why? Coming up soon on Shh, blow the damn whistle.
Some of you in the room right now, you are where you are. You're giving 60% when you have 120 in you. Why? Because you've never made a decision. There's those of you in this room, you already there. Your problem is this is stuff you don't want to give up to go on. Listen to me, pound for pound, any agent in the room, pound for pound, motivational speaker, pound for pound, entrepreneur, pound for pound, athlete, pound for pound, weightlifter, pound for pound, whatever you do, I guarantee you when you do it, nobody can do it like you do it. The problem is you don't hardly do it.
Welcome back to CFB Prime. We're going to get into three big topics today in college football. I'm your host, Nino Brown. I'm going to take you on a little rabbit hole that I like to go on when we talk about college football. Well, first topic we're going to talk about is the Magnificent Seven Exodus. We all know that the super divisions are coming. The super conferences have been a talk for a while now, but teams are ready to go now. Apparently, the ACC could be no more. I mean, Clemson, Florida State, Miami, North Carolina State, Virginia, and Virginia Tech say, yeah, we want out. Who cares about that $240 million annual salary that you guys be giving us at ESPN? We don't care. We don't want to know more. We want out. We want to go with the big dogs. But then there's the rumors that teams like Pitt and Syracuse and Wake want to stay. Why would you want to stay? where, where would you end up? What would you want to be? You can see that, as coach, my boy coach likes to say, you're reading the tea leaves, right? Read the tea leaves, my friends. It's all going to end. It's going to be the super division, the super conference. That's all you're going to get. Three big boys. Why would you try to drag that out? Now, the 17 million that each school gets, through 2036, they don't, these big guys at seven, they don't want it no more, right? They says, no, we're okay. You can keep it. We want to go somewhere else. The rumor has it that Clemson and Florida State, they want to go see the big boys. They want to be the big dogs on the porch, and they're knocking at the SEC door. We want in. We want to play with the big boys. We want that status. We're putting these dudes in the NFL, and we want to be in the circle. And then North Carolina and the Virginias, they could end up in the Big Ten. So then that leaves Miami. And that's about it. Where would you go? Where do you want to go, Miami? I would assume that they would go to the SEC, but with the things that I've seen lately, can they hang in the SEC? Or maybe they would have to go to the Big 12 or Pac 12, but that could be dismantled as well. So where would you go? What would you end up going? Why, just bite the bullet now, go to the SEC where you're probably going to end up anyway. Now, how long will it be? We don't know. This is just a little nugget that college football likes to drop out there because it's a lull period, okay? And my producer, my homie KT knows I like when they give little nuggets. I like to talk about little nuggets because they go from nuggets to chicken McNuggets in a small fry because it's going to be real and it's going to be in your lap soon. This is not a joke. This is what they're doing. They're putting it out there for you. They're testing the waters to see what's going to happen, and it went viral very quickly. So trust me. When we're talking about the dismantle, the Magnificent Seven, the Exodus, they're out. These teams are out. And Clemson and Florida State, I believe, will be the first two to take a ride on that train. North Carolina, with the recent success, will probably be the third team out as well. There's to say that one conference could take all of them, I don't believe it. Why would they want them all? So that's why I think it's going to be dispersal amongst whatever's left. And then within 2 or 3 years, when it shrunk down to the big three, they'll all come back and they could be in the same one then, but not for a little while. Now, let's talk about Hugh Freeze, how he got Auburn believing. And I mentioned it in the intro. John Cohen is feeling himself. He took a shot at a dude out of Liberty, and right now, he's looking real, real good. Now, Freeze ain't been known for a portal guy here and there, but he got an 86.9 grade in the portal. That's second behind, Prime at Colorado. So he knew what he needed to do. He came in there with his 66% winning percentage, 83 and 43 record, and says, "All right, I gotta cook it up. What's what's not working gotta go, and what we need is some new." But he did say that he needed Cadillac. He said that when he saw Cadillac and what he did was one of the biggest feats he had ever seen out of a coach in college football, and he wanted to be with Cadillac on his side. He knows Cadillac changed the culture. He was not trying to go in there and ruffle feathers. It's year one. You know what I mean? He understood that they won't return to the conference overnight, and there's enough, returning talent. But he had to hit the portal, and there's expectations that in his first year's debut, they could be bowling, right? They got 11 starters returning, right? And they knew that they needed to fix both sides of the ball on the line of scrimmage. And they went and did that. They went out and got Dylan Wade from Tulsa. They went out and got Jaden Muskrat from Tulsa. Two big guys who play up front and bang, okay? Muskrat was injured last year a little bit, but he'll be all right. They also went out and got Gunnar Britton from Western Kentucky and Avery Jones from Eastern Carolina. And don't sleep on junior college recruit Izanovan Millie. Okay, so they fixed the O line. They needed to replace some guys. They replaced them. Boom, they got guys. The D line, they went out and got those guys. Elijah McAllister from Vanderbilt, Justin Rogers from Kentucky, uh, Nazi Kite from Maryland, and Lawrence Johnson from Purdue. Just the big boys. 336, 305, 300. He went and got big boys who wreak havoc in the backfield. Each one of these guys has close to 25, 30 tackles, right? They got about 10 plus solo tackles. They got tackles for losses and sacks. So he knew what he needed and he went and got it. He keeps knocking at the door of things that he needed. He needed a quarterback, they said, right? Finley left. It only left him with one guy, Robbie Ashford. So what did he do? He waited. Didn't jump the gun. He chilled for a little bit. Wanted to see what's going to happen after these spring games. Who wasn't ready? Who wasn't happy with their situation? I think that he didn't jump the gun like Alabama did, and he got a guy that he needed, a guy that he can have for a while in Peyton Thorne out of Michigan State, who had about 2,700 yards, 19 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Now, we need some wide receivers, because crazy stat. No wide receiver had more than 26 passes caught, and the longest reception came from a running back from Jacquez Hunter last year. So they needed guys at the wide receiver position, and they got guys. Four-star recruit from Ohio State. Yeah, wide receiver Caleb Burton, left Ohio State, hit the portal. He's in Auburn, right? Jackson State, dude, who balled out last year. He had trouble in the portal. He committed, decommitted, he committed, decommitted, but he finally committed to Auburn. 63 receptions, almost 800 yards, 10 touchdowns. Don't sleep on Jair Shorter out of North Texas, 6'2", 215. He had 23 receptions, 11 touchdowns, 628 yards. Folks, that's 28 yards per catch. That's a big playmaker. They didn't have a guy like that. He had 23 receptions. That was almost as tied for and more than anybody on Auburn last year alone. Never mind the guys I had mentioned. Now, Tank's gone at the running back, right? He went to Jaguars. He made it to the NFL. And I had high hopes, and I still do for Jacquez Hunter. 6.6 yards per carry both seasons at Auburn. But apparently there is a suspension looming. So we really don't know what's going on. But they got the freshman there, and they brought in Baylor transfer running back Brian Batty, 5'8", 170, not the biggest guy, but 175 attempts for 1,200 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 14 receptions. Like, they are throwing curveballs, knuckleballs, fastballs at you, and he consistently is delivering and getting on base with guys in the portal. And he's being patient at the plate, like I said. He's getting these guys late. Caleb Burton entered the second half of the portal. He chilled. He waited. He let guys. There's still guys out there who he could get, like Zaire Franklin, who hasn't been signed out of UTSA. So I think he's working. Now, earlier in the portal, he got Rafaldo Fairweather from FIU as a tight end because they needed a tight end badly. They haven't had a good tight end a couple years. Like a dude. This guy's 6'5", 245, had 28 receptions for 426 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's 15 yards per catch from your tight end. He was like one of the top guys behind Jeremiah Bell in the portal. All right. He knew Derek Hall's gone. Kobe Wooden gone. 11 and a half tackles for loss. Edge, Ika Leota, gone. Marcus Bragg, gone. Like he needed to replace guys. He has Marcus Harris at the linebacker position. He has Jason Jones at the linebacker position, right? When he went and got, I spoke about a North Texas guy before. He got a guy, okay, from North Texas at the linebacker position on a Conference USA, 6', 225, who had 105 tackles last year. Like, ding, another hit. Like, come on, man. You just keep hitting and hitting. Austin Keys, SEC pedigree out of Ole Miss, 6'2", 240 pounds, 40 tackles, 14 solo tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, and a forced fumble. Around the ball. Steven Sings, Liberty transfer. He know about him. It was his guy, right? Defensive end, 13 tackles, 9 solo, 3.5 tackles for loss, 3.5 sacks. He's 6'3", 235. Like, Hugh Freeze is out here grinding, getting it done. He knows, okay, Robbie's a dude. I brought him in here. He wasn't the greatest last year, so I needed to bring in Peyton Thorne to bring some competition for Robbie because Finley's gone, right? I held the QB battles good. Finley went off to Texas State. Ashford didn't have the best numbers last year. 7-7 touchdown interceptions, 1,700 yards. Did have 700 yards on the ground, 7 touchdowns, but 49% completion, 6.5 yards per attempt. We got to do something to fix that. And holding Grenier, or the redshirt freshman, is waiting in the background. So you got youth now with Peyton Thorne and Holden behind Robbie. Now, like I said, the wide receiver department was gross. The overall play, the wide receiver, like 26 receptions at the best wide receiver was just bad. Okay. They knew that the cupboard, well, I wouldn't say that the cupboard wasn't full, but it wasn't empty. So they went and got those guys. They did have Javarius Johnson, who had 26 catches, Corey Moore, Caden Brown. Listen, Caden Brown looked really good in the spring game. All right. And he hurt his ankle a little bit, but he still, surprised a lot of people in the spring game. Malcolm Johnson is another guy to look out for, but he's been hurt. So they got guys. Fairweather at the tight end position was an absolute score. And I mentioned in the running back department, the freshman, Daria Alston, 3-star out of Georgia. Okay. They got guys. So Hunter may be gone. Could be 4, could be 6, could be the whole season. We don't know because it's very vague in the letter that they sent out. But they got guys. Hugh brought in guys, and he has a freshman already there. Like he's doing his thing and getting things going. And the expectations is a bowl right now. Now, do I think they can turn it around totally in year one? Maybe, get 9 or 10 wins. It's going to be hard. That schedule's not favorable to them. It's a first, it's his first season. Well, let's just get to a bowl, get the ball rolling in the right direction as he's been going, and see what happens. Now, this next topic I want to talk about. I've been talking about this team in this area for a little bit now. It's on the shirt because I want to put it out there a little bit more to you. Uh, the North Carolina Tar Heels aren't the only ones in North Carolina that have a solid football team because Mike Elko and quarterback Riley Leonard have literally changed the landscape for the Duke Blue Devils. Okay, not only do they have Riley Leonard, who is an absolute dude. Okay, 13 games last year, 3,000 yards, 63% completion. He had 20 touchdowns, 6 picks. He also had 700 yards on the ground, 13 touchdowns. Right. They also have Grayson Loftus as a freshman there, and they just got 4-star Tyler Cherry to commit. So the quarterback department is deep, right? Cherry's the 5th 2024 commit for Elk already. He's got DB Landon Callahan. He's got defensive lineman Preston Watson, interior offensive lineman Bradley Smith, and wide receiver Jaden Moore already committed. Like early commits like this to Duke, 4-star QB commits to Duke. What Elko's done in year one And that program is crazy. 9-win season in the ACC with victories over the Hurricanes, BC, Virginia, Virginia Tech, and Wake in ACC alone, right? That's big for them. It's incredible to me what he has done, how they have changed it, how him and Riley have linked, clicked, and have just got a buzz out there eh, for the Blue Devils. Now, Tyler Cherry is a dude. He's a dog. 2,300 yards passing, 22 touchdowns, and just 5 interceptions, leading his team to not one, not two, but their third straight state championship in the Hoosier State. Okay, like bro, 3 state championships, 22 to 5 touchdowns intercept ratio. This kid is a dude, and they didn't want to miss him. They sent OC QB coach Kevin Johns there once a week to go get this guy, and he liked the program. He said he himself says what Elko has done in this program is crazy. He said when he touched down to visit the first time, it was just like, whoa, okay, I'm in. I'm all about it. I want here. They have guys. They don't have big name guys, but they got guys. Now they're getting big name guys. Like I said, Leonard. They also have Loftons. They have Cherry now. They're getting to defensive tackle Dwayne Carter is a dog, right? They have dudes on the defensive side of the ball as well. They're bringing in transfers. They're getting guys from Stanford, Texas A&M. Miles Jones comes in from Texas A&M. Like, when is Duke getting guys like this? They haven't been. They're getting them now. Bringing in Peyton Jones, right? Running back. His vision is insane. 5'10", 190. They're bringing in Marquise Collins, another running back. So these two dudes are speedsters. Duke's bringing in talent. Elko is changing the landscape to a point where, North Carolina and North Carolina State better watch out. I'm not saying he's passing the tiles, but he's good. The games are going to be competitive, if not Duke getting dubs against the Tar Heels. And they got Drake May, and they got, a bunch of talent, behind him in the future. But trust me when I tell you, as long as Elko is there, the culture will be winning. The culture has been changed. There's a new dude. There's a new head honcho at Duke as a Blue Devil, and his name's not Mike Krzyzewski anymore. His name's Mike Elko. And this has been CFB Prime. I'm your host, Nino Brown, and we out of here. Shh. Blow the damn whistle.
Some of you in the room right now, you are where you are. You're giving 60% when you have 120 in you. Why? Because you never made a decision. Those of you in this room, you already there. Your problem is this is stuff you don't want to give up to go on. Listen to me, pound for pound, any agent in the room, pound for pound, motivational speaker, pound for pound, entrepreneur, pound for pound, athlete, pound for pound, weightlifter, pound for pound, whatever you do, I guarantee you when you do it, nobody can do it like you do it. The problem is you don't hardly do it.